This is my setup for making mushrooms. So what we've got here are 4 mushroom bags for the substrate to go in, and if I go in closer you can see these filters. They're like a valve made from micropore, so they allow oxygen in but no pathogens. Anyway, I'm going to fill these 4 bags with substrate, and over here you can see the substrate, which is called Master Mix or Master Blend, and it's 50% hardwood pellets and 50% soy hulls. There's my mix of about 10 cups of hardwood pellets and 10 cups of soy pellets, and now I'll add about 6 litres of water. There's about 4 litres of water in there already, so I'll just put another litre and just make sure it's the right moistness. We don't want it too wet or too dry, but a nice friable mix for the mycelium to be able to work its way through the whole substrate. And I fill these 4 bags with that substrate, and from there those bags go into this pressure cooker for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, to completely sterilize the mix, and then I'll show you what happens after that. And there are the 4 bags of substrate sealed, ready for the pressure cooker. And here are the 4 bags in the pressure cooker, ready for sterilization. This is my homemade Laminar flow hood. Now what that is I've got a HEP filter at the back, and I've cut it into a plastic storage box, and behind it is just a rotating fan. So it's just blowing through. I've cut out the bottom of that box, put the HEP filter in, and so in this space it should be pretty sterile. But in addition, we've got sanitizer, gloves, micropore tape and a mask. And obviously I'll sanitize my hands, cover my face. And in here we will put the grain spawn. We can open those jars in that environment and put the grain spawn in the substrate bags and seal the bags, and then put them away for a couple of weeks. And we should have lovely oyster mushrooms. And there's the first bag. You can see I've put grain spawn in the top of the bag and then sealed it with a tie. And there's the 4 bags, and now I'm going to distribute the spawn throughout the substrate just by sort of shaking it down, pushing in the sides, just like that. Got to be careful to not press the bag too hard, stretch it. You can make little tiny tears in the plastic, and then of course contaminants get in, spoil the mushroom crop. So just enough to get it distributed like that. Here you see a couple of weeks later fully colonized bags of substrate of king pearl and tan oysters, and you can see that the substrate is almost completely white. And in fact, these ones are nearly ready for putting in the fruiting chamber, which is a high humidity environment. And what I'll do is put small slits in the side of these bags for the oyster mushrooms to grow out the side of the bags. This is the fruiting chamber. It's a high humidity environment. So over here is a humidifier, and that drops humid air into the fruiting chamber. And these bags, this is where the mushrooms are actually produced. Here you can see the tan oysters emerging from the slits in the substrate bag. Beautiful, perfect oysters. And these will be ready maybe tomorrow or certainly the day after. This is the end product of the mushroom process, and these are tan oyster mushrooms. As you can see, they're beautiful, delicate mushroom, and they're quite sweet and tasty, a nice bit of crunch.